Hello, everybody, and welcome to Contemporary Comrades. Go ahead, get it, Clint.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Hey, Clint's here.
Oh, yeah. had to set the mood off right. You know what I'm saying? Had to a little late '90s shit. But yeah, sure. Welcome to Contemporary Comrades. We're starting off today with Jaron to my left. Say what's up.
What it does.
Adam to my northwest.
Yes, north-south. What's going on, people?
Hey, Stu said north-south.
Clint's here.
So, that's fucking Kanye's third kid, north-south. All right, anyway.
And of course, this is Corn.
Say hey, Clint. Clint's back as a guest today.
Yes.
Hey, it's great to be back.
Good to have you, bro.
And on a side note, Clint's making history because it's the most. You're the person we had on the most so far. So
that's true.
Yes.
It's an honor to be here because y'all are putting out the real knowledge that many people really don't disclose. So this is what it's about.
You're an honorary member anyway. You're the part-time fourth member of the group anyway. So
sweet.
Yeah. Of course. Absolutely, man. So we are unfortunately going to have to start off with some bad news. Of course, as everybody knows, over the weekend we had two massive shootings here in America. If you guys are listening from elsewhere, it was here in America. And the first one was Saturday night in El Paso, Texas, where a 24-year-old male, right? If anybody can correct me or not, 24-year-old male went down to drove 600 miles plus down to El Paso, Texas, and I think he killed about 13 people. And
he killed 22 people and left 24 injured. Yeah.
Yeah. So they finally caught him. His motive was to go and kill Hispanics.
Mexicans, yeah.
Actually, he killed 21 people. Just
21.
Oh, damn. Either way,
21.
Still a fucking lot.
It was 21, dude. But anyways, I want to say, yes. Yeah, I do want to say within another 13-hour span, there's another shooting in Dayton, Ohio, and another guy was sitting outside, and he had a 100-round drum attached to a rifle, and killed was it 8 people he killed within the first 30 seconds, and then 30 seconds later he was killed by the policemen that were already there on site. So
I believe he killed 6 people. It might be 8. Let me check. Let me double check.
But I mean, with all this happening here, with all this happening here within that amount of time, and of course, the first thing everybody's going to try and go out and say is, "Oh, let's control the guns. Yeah. I disagree, but I mean, you guys already know my opinion.
I have the official number. He killed 9 people in Dayton.
Killed 9 people.
Even more senseless death over psychos. Yeah. So again, we're going to against the same problems again.
Yeah, there's 2 different motives apparently to this one. It's let's control guns, and it's let's blame video games.
Oh boy, yeah. So our Trump made another announcement about violent video games being the problem, and I feel like that's more or less just an old person. What any old baby boomer would say, honestly, because you got people who don't understand the modern age, so they're going to blame something that they don't understand. Video games is one of those things. And dude, I could play any game, and it's not going to make me think of actually going out and doing it in public. I mean, you guys can all agree with that too. It depends on the person, not the media,
right?
Yep.
Same with guns,
Yep.
And it's fucking ridiculous that this stuff keeps happening. We talked about this. Was it the episode we had Nikki on, maybe, where we talked about the gun stuff again, or the mass shootings? And I was like, movie theaters should have a bouncer or a club. Our club should have a bouncer outside with a gun already. They should have armed guards outside of places ready for this shit. But nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to take that plunge because that would scare customers.
Well, on that episode when you mentioned that and you said that, you didn't say that from the mass shooting. You said that because some homeless dude was bothering you. You said, "This is true."
Well, okay. Well, all right.
This is true.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. But I was kind of getting around this subject in case that person decided to attack. You know, like you never know who's going to just attack someone. That's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah, that's a good point. But so that's what I was trying to get at. You know, because you never know who's just going to attack. You never know who's crazy enough to just open fire and murder people. And there you go. So people's lives are lost. You can't get those back. So
Right.
It's like, why not just prepare for it? Yeah, it might scare customers away. Dude, fuck your money. If people's lives are on the line, get guards like hold up at places and ready for this shit to go down. You know, what's the problem? Like, how many deaths are enough? You know.
This is true. I mean, I don't. Again, like I always say, I don't have an answer for this. Like with all these agendas, like I don't. But it's just like what they're trying to push for. It's just not it. It's not it.
Mental health is the thing they need to be pushing for, not fucking objects. Like, dude.
That's only one slice of the pie, though.
Okay, well,
There's many things that contribute to a man or woman going out, even though it's mostly men going out and shooting
pretty much
people.
always, man. Yeah.
And it's tough. I mean, just like flip the script real quick. Think about going to war and all of our major efforts to try to not go into war. And you can turn that into many things that we try to not go into or that we try to mitigate, because what are we trying to do ultimately, right? Mitigate risk.
Yeah.
But see, could you imagine how sad of a world that would be in the United States with every business in our economy has to have some form of protection or metal detectors?
It's sad.
That would be sad.
Yeah, but
That takes the joy out of the freedom of living. But see, you never know to whom it will be that's going to do it. And by the means of, like what Cornelius was saying, like I agree, like look at New York. Better yet, look at Mexico. They've got tremendous gun bans, and actually in Mexico, you can't even have a firearm. But who has the firearms? It's the criminals.
Look at all of Europe.
Exactly, and it's the law-abiding citizens that actually get the short end of the stick.
Right.
When the criminals, the fugitives, you know, the despots, those individuals are the ones that run around, you know, with the firepower and the police. And when the people themselves can't protect themselves, then there's no safeguard against police agencies or the government, you know, prodding the people too much. It's very sticky. I don't think there is a definitive answer for this. All we can try to do is try to mitigate the risk the best we can, but
And
it's really tough.
it's hard to win this one because someone's going to be upset whichever way you go.
yeah, and I don't want to stay on this topic long because we actually have a main subject
Right.
to get to. But I do want to say somebody had the I saw on Twitter earlier somebody tried to say like, oh, let's just have metal detectors everywhere. I'm thinking to myself like, all they're going to do is wait for them to come outside the building then.
Trying to stop a bullet.
I mean,
Yeah, and on top of that, all that's going to do is inconvenience literally everyone, because you can't just have people walk through a metal detector and not have to empty everything they have.
Exactly.
Like, you know how much longer it would take to do anything? Going to the store to get groceries, going to get gas, going, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Going to take a piss at a restaurant. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be annoying for everybody. And again, it comes down to
like
convenience.
people just get in their feelings and say dumb shit that makes no fucking sense, and they don't really actually think about what they're saying before they say it.
Right.
Don't get me
That
wrong.
was-
Don't get me wrong. These are huge fucking tragedies. Like,
Right.
Right.
any human death due to this fuckery is the tragedy, right?
Of course, but that
So-
metal detector one is like, that one's more out of the bubble to me as opposed to having a guard, because like that's an inconvenience, and it all comes down to convenience. We're talking about, you know, people would lose service and money because you got guards scaring people away or metal detectors. But and then you think about, okay, well that's more important than people's lives, right? Fuck no, it's not. But you gonna convince the general public of that? Like probably not, man. These people the people who die, yeah, their families and their loved ones are going to be all for this now. But do you really think they would have been on board if that wasn't the case? If it wasn't their relatives that died? Probably not. You know?
Or do you think people would even want, you know, all these protections that they feel like they need now just because people are going out and shooting people with guns? We've had guns since humans. Well, as soon as humans could figure out how to efficiently make something that could kill something, we've had guns. We've had guns for as long as we've been in America.
Yeah.
We've been killing each other ever since then too.
Right. That's right. I mean, it's really
Um,
nothing new under the sun. It's just the
what's-
media broadcasts it more, and it probably is becoming more prevalent. I won't deny that.
Mass shootings are becoming more prevalent, but
I want to ask something.
also post 9/11.
I want to ask something to you guys.
Sure.
Is there any sort of a like IQ test or a mental health test to prevent somebody from buying a gun that they have like on display, or is there anyone that's checking that shit?
Well, what would it screen for? Give us a better question.
How would you screen for a mental health test to buy a gun?
That's what I'm asking. Like, if there was a way to judge if someone is prepared to handle one, like if you had an ignorant, hold up, if you had like an ignorant racist or like an actual crazy person going in to buy a gun, and you actually had to test that some way, there was some kind of an IQ test or a stability test, would that help? I feel like
Well,
it might.
they could lie.
Okay. Yeah.
The thing, like, this is what people don't understand. The mental state you have to be in to willingly go and kill a shit ton of people. Taking a fucking test to get the gun is the easy part. That's what people don't understand. Like to really want to do harm to another human being in that manner, like literally just taking a gun and just blasting people off, like like Trump did, like it's Call of Duty. Like, you got to be a sick motherfucker, and you got to be able to not only be a sick motherfucker, but you got to be able to carry out your craziness. So
Right.
even if we did have some sort of like mental health scanning to get a weapon, I don't think it would help. People will get around it. People get around everything. Why do you think that people still die in Europe and the guns are banned? You can't even have a fucking knife walking around London. That shit's illegal. Like, and people still get shot. The police don't even have guns over there. To me, it's just, yeah, it's a horrible situation. The problem is clearly, it's a lot of things. It's social, it's mental, it's
Right.
You know, it's more than just, oh, dude's a psycho, so because he can get a gun, he can shoot him. It's more than that.
Well,
People are terrible about a lot of shit.
And you know why it's happening more and more? I'm sorry.
And also, this is the last thing I'll say, because we do have to move on, guys.
I know.
I saw someone that I follow that's a wrestling podcaster, and he said, well, what if we just do fingerprint locks on guns? Like, you have to have the owner's fingerprint to unlock the gun to be able to shoot it. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, for a minute, I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea, but it's also the other thing of trying to get someone to give their gun up so that you can put the fingerprint lock in it. And I'm
So
from
is
Virginia.
he talking about?
So I know people from Virginia wouldn't do it. Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. Nobody's gonna willingly hand their gun over.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing about what these people are saying. They think that people are either A, going to give up the right to have a gun, period, in America, B, give up the guns that they have, and C, take too much more of this, oh, well, you can't have 12-round magazines, oh, you can't have this, oh, you can't have a adjustable stock, oh, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just going to make people do the damn shootings that they're trying to, you know what I'm saying, mitigate.
And look back in history when they told us to give up our guns, and that we're going to take.
That's all you got to look at.
Give up all their guns and then kill everybody.
That's all you got to look at.
Fuck, man.
Like people are fucking.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but again, this is what I say every fucking podcast. I feel like, sorry to interrupt, but
Are you good? You're good.
we see a problem and we try to attack the leaves of it or the fruit of it. We don't go to the
Talk
fucking
to the root.
of the
Yeah,
problem,
nobody goes with the root. No.
because that would instill the wrong thing that they want, which is actual change and right action in the world. That's not profitable. That's not the goal. That doesn't allow you to control a society.
Right. You can't
There's no
control
money
society
to be made
then.
there.
You know,
They're losing money on gun sales then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say one more thing.
It's
Sorry.
deeper than guns, but yeah, I mean that's the truth too.
Yeah, I'll say one more thing. So, also, what we talked about in numerous episodes, social media is just consuming people now. I don't think that's helping anybody.
Don't get me started.
I don't think that's helping anybody as far as mass shootings are concerned. As far as people going out and killing each other, I don't think social media is helping one little bit.
No, hell no. No, it's not at all. But we are going to move on, and this is a topic that we've been holding on ever since we started this podcast. This is a topic that we've been holding heavy on, and I think we touch on in pretty much every episode. But now we're going to get
the main event.
too much.
pills. Are you red pill, blue pill, black pill, gray pill, brown
Pills.
pill? Doesn't matter.
We're getting to the pills.
So who's going to start us off?
I think we brought the man to start us off.
I'll start us off.
Yeah,
All
Clint's,
right,
Clint's here to educate everyone.
All right, are
He's
y'all
here to
ready?
educate us too. So yeah.
All right, okay, y'all ready?
Of course.
Well, the first thing I want to do, apart from you all, is just thank the listeners. And going down the red pill matrix is one of the greatest ways to protect yourself as a man.
Oh yeah.
In Western society. Let's see. So for one, I want to start off by saying this is not like hating women. This is just explaining female nature.
Of course.
And the more we're going to touch on this, I mean, people talk about this, and I highly encourage our listeners and us as well to continue to go on YouTube and research the red pill and what it means and the different shades and how that applies to your life. Going back to what Jaron was saying, it is intertwined a little bit with MGTOW, because if you go full MGTOW monk mode, which is you completely cut yourself off from dating or even interacting with women, period, well, you're truly going off on your own way, but there are some MGTOWs that will actually still date. It's very interchangeable, but it's like whatever works for you, you put it in your toolbox and you use it.
Right.
But my ultimate point is this. This is to protect us against what? Well, for one, feminism. If you're new to relationships, this is going to be incredibly beneficial to you. We're going to be talking all about beta male characteristics to alpha male characteristics.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how you should start to slowly but surely adopt alpha male characteristics.
For your benefit, yeah.
Right. And I guess above all else is that as us as men, we are the prize. We need to be intentful in our purpose in life. And a woman should come in and be a nice compliment. She should never be
Not be your
main focus. We should never, placate. We should never give away our authority or our manhood to appease women. And that's where you get yourself in trouble. And that's where the red pill comes into. And there's varying shades of it. We'll get into it. I mean, this is an introduction, but above all, this is to protect the men of Western society, because other, first world countries, they become westernized and the women repeat this vicious cycle, and it can be very destructive to men. And I know men have their faults, but
it can tear men apart. Yeah.
Right. But this is ultimately, I just wanted to lead us with this, is that this is not, hating women.
No.
This is just explaining female nature and its protection for men ultimately. And you just pick and choose what works best for you.
And great introduction, Clint. I will say to the viewers at home, MGTOW stands for men going their own way, for those of you who don't know. So, because I had to look it up what it stood for too. Pretty much the things I've studied the most so far are the red pill and the blue pill stuff, which is pretty much alpha and beta male tendencies, what separates them, and what you should do to honestly get yourself on the red pill side. And here's the thing, putting the label on it is pretty much just what we're doing to identify what's good and what's bad in like male behavior to honestly attract female behavior. And what does the opposite?
I want to interject there. I will say red pill is about more than attracting females.
It's about attracting your own behavior to yourself too. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's about like fixing your mental state to make it so that women don't even like influence you. Like they'll come to you naturally, and as will you. It's pretty much is just benefiting it into your own lifestyle. Making things feel natural instead of forcing them, which is what blue pill tendencies are. So, you guys want to start with the alpha stuff or the beta stuff?
Yeah, and when we start with these things, be sure that we give real good, tangible questions to ask, ourselves along with the audience, because we need to make this applicable as possible.
Yeah, of course. So we've already covered it so like briefly in every episode almost, so we might as well actually dig into the shit now. So, Clint, do you want to start with the red or the blue?
Well, let's go ahead and start with the blue. Let's go.
All right. So the stuff going.
Yeah, let's go with what most of us. Some people have been like, just badass guys from the beginning and running through women, and they've known it. Some just had it. But most of us started out as blue pill. So I guess we'll start out with the blue pill and work our way to black pill.
All right. Full color spectrum.
Yeah. All right. So, can I go ahead and kick off?
Yeah. Jump in, man.
So concept came from, of course, the Matrix.
Yeah.
I gotta give the origin of this pill shit. Anyway, Neo had two choices. Morpheus gave him two options. He said, "You take the blue pill." Well, he said, "You take the red pill, and everything you've ever known is basically is going to be different because you're going to see the reality of life with this pill or etc." I can't remember the damn exact words, but that basically that. So, or you can take the blue pill, and everything will continue exactly how it is. So he took the red pill. That's where you get the equivalent of red pill and blue pill when it comes to like men and MGTOW and all this stuff, because it's that drastic of a change to become red pill once you've been blue pill. You'll
never be the same.
You'll never be the same person again.
You won't.
Like you really can't. You really won't.
You'll be liberated.
To an extent,
Yeah.
once you fit it into your life completely. Because even myself, I mean, I'm sure all of us, nobody's perfect. Learning these things, there are still things that I'm trying to change. Because you just have to let yourself develop at a natural pace. Because we're all in our 20s, right? Men do mature slower than women. That's a fact. So we have to figure this stuff out in our own pace, and we can't be rushed. Everybody's different, And
right.
some people are fucked up in the head, so they have to unfuck themselves. Case in point, myself. And you just have to keep going until you get to the right point. So I mean, you can't be anybody listening. You can't feel bad about this shit for not knowing, because if you do something so long and it doesn't work, I mean, and you're not learning, then I mean, okay, that sucks, but you still can learn. Like nobody here is like laying on their deathbed, hopefully, so, anyways, that's kind of what I'm trying to say, is that there's always room for improvement.
All right, so we'll start with blue pill, right? Corn, you got anything to say? You was about to say something.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
In terms of blue pill, I don't really, because again, I'm still new to this whole pill stuff. So in terms of blue pill, it's basically like everyone pretty much starts at that stage, correct?
I mean, it's not necessarily, but most.
Yeah, it depends. It's
I think it depends on how you were raised. There's a lot depends on how you were raised.
Yeah.
Like, but what age?
How your father was.
Well, I can bring this, into better view.
Yeah.
Blue pill would be you're unaware of women, unaware of their nature. You do not understand how to court them, how to date them, how to maintain relationships properly, and you stumble many times along the way. And then you go back to the classic bad boy. Well, that would be, before really, 2004, they say, or early 2000s, whichever it is, MGTOW started, you would hear of like a good guy and a bad guy, right? Good guy, he's good for women, but he gets ran all over.
Nice.
9 times out of 10. Not always, but 9 times out of 10.
Oh, yeah.
And the bad guy, he could just, get these women. He understood them. He had like a dating circle. Like he had like a flight of women, spinning plates, if you will. He just had multiple girls. They had no control over him, but they all wanted to tame him, but they couldn't.
All right. So question.
Yeah.
So a blue pill.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll tell you from the personal standpoint.
Right.
Where I didn't necessarily change my personality, but I just lied to chicks in order to get them. Would that be considered blue pill?
Well,
in my opinion,
give us more information. Like, would you be lying? What was your intent? Like,
just to me, lying to chicks, period, is blue pill. But I'll explain that case later.
Like lying at all, or lying
lying to women to get them or to force them to do something that you want. To me, is blue pill.
Yeah.
Then you're not being your true self, because
and you don't ever lie to them.
Because honestly, bro, I'll say this: the blue pill. We talked about the whole simp joke and the beta orbiter stuff. We'll get into that more. But it's like they're all lying to themselves too. Because like a guy who's a beta orbiter who's just hanging around an attractive woman, thinking that he can friend zone his way, into her heart, into her quote unquote heart.
Who's that beta orbiter? Well, I never heard that.
Yeah, beta.
It's a prevalent term.
It is. That's the friends. That's the guy who's so far friend zone she doesn't even really see him at all anymore. He might as well.
Yeah, man. So I've heard of the techno band Orbital. Does that count?
Jaron's breaking out the drugs. We all are. But anyways, yeah. So that's one term of blue pillology. I guess you want to say something real stupid. That kind of fits into it. So yeah, they are lying to themselves. That's a form of lying, because this guy doesn't want to behave this way, but that's all he knows. So he's probably really insecure. Probably doesn't know how to break out of his comfort zone or shell. So yeah, he's lying to himself.
Well, so, yeah, and he's placating her. He overlooks yeah, he overlooks the flaws that she has, and he does not keep her accountable. And he passed absolutely none of her shit tests.
No.
None. And she runs amok all over him because
he'll keep doing it too.
Women hate a beta male. They use them, actually. They will use them after they get ran through by Ted and Chad and Tyrone. After they get ran through, for like
and Kyle,
for the next 10 years, and they're like in their late 30s, and they're finished with feminism. They're like, I'm ready to be a housewife now. They want to exchange that, be like, oh, a beta male? Yeah, I'll take you now.
Now I see he was there all along. I never noticed him.
You now.
Yeah.
As long as he has money.
Right, money. Yeah.
Doesn't have to be much money.
Smart.
Yeah.
And
If you're,
it's funny. I've seen this happen on multiple occasions, like numerous occasions, where you see that hoe. You see her start a hoe in her beginning stages of hoeing. Then she goes full blown whore. Then when she's done, then she goes and finds the guy that obviously couldn't really get her back in the day, and now she's like, oh, he may not be able to help me in this other area, but he can help me in this area over here. And it's like
financial
I don't
stability, safe atmosphere to have kids.
Yeah, and it happens so much where I'm like, I shouldn't. I'm not even gonna judge anymore. Like, I don't even care anymore.
Well, you can't stop it. It's already begun. So.
Yeah.
And believe me, that's a problem on myself. I'm just slowly starting to realize that getting mad about this stuff doesn't help me. So
let's make sure we stay on our topic and not dive too deep into.
Yeah, of course. I know. I'm just saying that, like, when you start judging it, it's just gonna piss you off.
Because we're getting into the modern westernized woman. They love opportunistically. Going back to, is there true love? No, they love opportunistically. If it suits them and it fits what they need in that time, if you have enough resources, you're golden for a while, because you still got to have your game and you still got to know how to maintain that relationship, whatever type you want to have. But for example, if you were to, any of our listeners out there, tell your wife or tell your girlfriend, honey, I lost my job, and you tell me what she does. You tell me what she does then. She will eat you alive and be wondering what you're going to do to fix the problem.
Yep.
Because that's her security, is your money.
I feel like that's where I got lucky. Mine would not. She would encourage me to then get it, but she would trust that I will get another one.
You're right.
She would be like, all right, I'll back you. I'll support you.
Right.
That's when you probably.
But knowing that I will go back and I'll get that job because that's what I do. I'm a man, right? I go and get the fucking job.
You get the job done.
Like she wouldn't think that I wouldn't get another one.
Right.
Yeah. Like that. Like, but I don't know if that's how all women would think or necessarily. But Clint says correct. Like
a majority.
You will certainly fucking
feel the wrath.
See what's really going on.
Especially
go on.
I was going to say, if the relationship is built on superficial bullshit anyway.
Right, of course. That's what I was going to get to. Is like, if you're in the small minority who has someone that is actually, considers you actually, liking you for who you are, this isn't about superficial shit. But yeah, they will support you, like Jaron just said. A good example of it. But if you're in one of these fake shell relationships that it's all about the finance, it's all about the materialistic things, and no, they're not. They're going to be ready to jump out of there like that.
Oh yeah. And just as a side note, for us and our listeners too, when I say these things, or any of us, what we're really saying is a majority, not all, because of course there's going to be a few that are actually really good women that these things really don't apply to. Only small traces of it.
Yeah.
But a majority. So we're speaking of majorities, not all. So we just want to clear that up.
And there's no way this episode is not going to offend somebody. So we're definitely digging in. But hey, that's just what it is.
Hey, who gives a fuck, man?
Yeah, about to say, when have you ever gave a fuck about offending anybody?
Of course.
All right. Well, what's the next one so we can jump into it?
Well, did we even really discuss blue pill? Like,
not so much.
Let's name a few. Let's name a few blue pill tendencies.
The SIP quality that I just went over with beta orbiters.
Hold on, Corn. What's
Oh, okay. So back to the line thing. So me, if I would say like, hey, I want a relationship, but I'm only trying to have sex with them, and I'm talking about like 16, 18, 19-year-old me. But
Okay,
like,
you. All right.
if I'm saying like, hey, I'll be in a relationship with you, but I don't, but they don't know that I'm just trying to have sex with them. So I'll say whatever I want to get them in bed. That's considered blue pill, right?
Well, in a way, man, that's the wrong approach. But go on, Jaron. I think you got this.
I would say if that was you at 26, yes, that's blue pill.
Yeah.
But that was probably to them chicks back in the day. That was probably some alpha shit back in 2009, 2010 in high school. You know what I'm saying?
School, yeah.
Like back in high school, that was your way of manipulating chicks, right?
Yeah. That was like till 21.
Yeah, I mean it's still technically, to me, it's blue pill because I don't like lying to chicks, but everybody lied to fucking chicks when they're 16.
Right.
Like you can't it's that's a hard one to judge, but the principle of itself, lying to chicks for an outcome, to me is blue pill. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah, because what I'm saying is I started at 16 and lying to them. Then I stopped at like 21, 22 because I was like, yo, that shit's corny. That's what.
Yeah.
But that's the time when I got the most results too. But that's a discussion.
I mean, I
have a little caveat. So you said manipulation, Clint. Was that you just said that?
I didn't say that. That's a form of what it is.
Hold on. Corn wasn't done, man.
That's still blue pill.
Because even though you had the most results, technically, the most consistent results.
But 21, 22, is that still considered blue pill? That's when I stopped.
To me, like I said, yes.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's not about results. It's about you.
Yeah.
What I was going to say was I feel like manipulation actually fits into more of, this is a stretch, because lying is one thing. Manipulating women can honestly fit into the red pill side, but it's a very wrong way to be. It's like the dark side of it. Because you are going to probably win her over, and you probably are going to be the center of her life, but that's just a fucked up way to be.
Well, yeah, but you don't do it through manipulation.
You don't do it, yeah. Like, that's what a woman wants, is a man to center their life.
I'm not saying you should.
That's what a woman wants.
Hold on, Jaron. I'm not saying you should do it through manipulation. The guys fucking do.
Well, yeah.
So often.
Yeah,
and they have just shaky results. Maybe good, but not as good as
not all of them, man.
If they learn game. But going back to what Jaron was saying, it's about being in your masculine core and knowing your purpose and being that rock in their life, a foundation. And you can be honest. As a matter of fact, whether you study pickup, which I do recommend you do because you want to tighten up your game, or if you have it on your own, read books on it. But ideally, being strong in yourself, pursuing your purpose, and learning game is going to be the best thing you can do. Because once you learn the interactions, which is something you got to do, you got to understand how to read women. You got to understand how to go after them, how to chase them. And it's not even about, relationships at this point. I would recommend that, most guys at a minimum think about a relationship 4 or 5 months, but you don't ever initiate the relationship. That's going to be her idea. Yeah. And you, by all means, and this is not a form of manipulation, but this is the way that you truly create a strong bond. You let them tell you multiple times that they love you first. They need to be the first ones to tell you that they love you. You never, as a man, you never tell them that.
And you are not supposed to assert your feelings hardly ever. And if you do, it needs to be with someone that you have already said the love has already been there. It's like men are supposed to keep their emotions in check because that's where the power lies. Is that my understanding this right? Because you just want to be stable. Yeah, of course.
I mean,
I'm not going to sit here and admit that I know as much as you do, Clint, but the things I have been reading and learning about.
Oh, that's fine.
It establishes that red pill aware men are supposed to keep their emotions in check and acknowledge the fact that women are the emotional ones. Men are supposed to be the rock solid ones.
Right, because you never play a woman's emotional games. They're born with the genetics and makeup to win. You never play emotions with a woman. You never get emotional with them.
No.
They're going to win time and time again. You have to be in your logical, rational self in your mind. You can't get caught up in the emotion, whether it's a fight or if you messed up trying to pick her up. You just got to keep a strong frame. You have to have her be in your frame. You cannot be placating her and being in her frame. But see, we're getting into some advanced stuff here that's a little bit off of the blue pill. But
I don't think it is, because like again, that while that is very important to do, you also have to think about how that fucks up a guy's head too, because we have to literally go against. We have to go against our natural order of thinking and feeling.
You're not going against your natural order. You're going to your natural order.
Because
you're going against what society tells you in movies and TV and media and all the bond manipulation that you should do to get a woman.
All right, fair enough.
Like I said, that works on some women, but what we're trying to say works on all women at some level. If you just come to a wholeness of yourself and of being a man, an actual man, being a masculine man, then women that's just a side. That's just like, oh, awesome, I get chicks now too. Oh, I got a promotion at my job. Oh, wow, people look at me in the eye and smile and say, how you doing? Oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? They held the door for me when I was coming out the store. Oh, wow. It's like it's a way of being. It's a way of like people just feel your energy when you're truly comfortable and happy with yourself in your frame, in your, you know what I'm saying? In your masculine core, like it goes beyond chicks. It goes beyond all that. It's life is your oyster. As a man, we're lucky as men. Women have more power than us. I'll give it that to an extent, especially nowadays. But actually, no, I'll take it back. I'll say power in certain areas. I think men have more power if you want to put it in some sort of power way. But I feel like as men, the world is our oyster, man. Like I don't know. It's just great. Like I like being a man. I embrace being a man.
Me too.
There's some men who don't want to be fucking men, and there's some women who want to be women.
That's very true. We've covered that a lot.
But the trick is being a man is finding a woman who likes to be a real woman. That's the trick.
Corn's got a question.
So I want to know that in terms of being, whether you're red pill, blue pill, whatever, what is social media? Because you guys mentioned earlier about social media, right? About social media not going against the norms of how to get a woman. What is that way that social media, not social media, but like media period, wants you to get a woman? I'm kind of curious.
Let's see, any rom-com made from 1998 to 2019. Let's see. The guy the dumb idiot guy who trips and falls over this girl and simps out and stays by her side while she goes and fucks all these other guys and complains to him. And then when she's at her lowest, he comes and picks her up out of the sky. And come on, dude, you know
I'll save you.
Right.
I'll save you, sweetheart.
You were there the whole time we were meant to be.
But I never saw it. Dude, you see this happen so much. In fact, I just saw the other day, I saw an instance where this friend zone guy eventually got the girl, and I was sitting there and she said he was there all along. And I'm just sitting myself like, oh my gosh. Like, it's just, he just kept on and just kept on belittling himself until he got her. And that's an accomplishment? No, I don't see the victory here. But, that's neither here or there, I guess. What going on?
Hey, I ask these questions for entertainment purposes.
That's fair, because you already know I was going to go in. That's fair.
I was curious, though, as to what you guys thought, because I always thought it was the bad boy thing, which is where I got it, like where I tried to do in my earlier years, where it's like the bad boy gets the girls. Growing up, you see some of these different shows where, the show considers them like the villain or the bad guy, but I consider them like the hero. Like, you got the girl. So I'm like, I feel like, do you guys agree with Jaron? Like, is that you guys' idea of what media, of what the media depicts as how you get the girl?
The media does sway in one way, and it tries to make you feel like it's okay to be yourself, and unfortunately, it's not. I mean, if you're thinking the way I just described as wanting to act upon emotions, I mean, Jaron is right. The media does push that shit down your throat, the fact where you feel like, okay, well, I'm supposed to be this way. When, if you're being your most masculine self, people are going to gravitate towards you anyway because you're already happy.
But I was going to say, usually what the bad boy does in those situations is lie to the girl and all that shit, which, like I said, I consider blue pill.
Manipulating too.
So, again, that's not the bad boy that Clint was describing more so than it's the bad boy that Clint was describing with what I consider blue pill shit, lying, manipulating, just getting what you want out of a situation, but not actually working on yourself, not bettering yourself in the process, or not being the best version of yourself, and then letting life sort out what it's going to give you. You know what I'm saying? That to me is true red pill. Like you're in your masculine frame. You know who you are as a person. You know what you want in life. You know what it's like to be a man and take care of what you need to take care of as a man. And also know what it's like to you can talk to people, interact with people, women, etc. That's red pill to me. Yeah.
I feel like
So if you're doing anything other than that, and not lying to anybody, not just women, because to me, lying to women, all that does is put them on a pedestal in some odd way. But they'll
come back. They'll come back to shred you for that.
I'm curious.
I think lying to women puts them on a pedestal, and I will explain myself.
Because you're denying the truth of who you are just to get what's in between those legs or something like that.
Get them.
Right, because your game should be so tight and your understanding of women should be so tight that you can walk in, scout them, assess them, and start pursuing them in the right way, which is a huge thing. We can get into that if you want. But, see, this is the biggest thing that's going to get you about lying. If you want to see her more than one more time after the fact, or even in the process of while you're lying, you're going to trip and cross yourself up. You're going to stumble and fall.
Oh, yeah.
Your stories and what you tell her, you're not going to be able to keep up with all the lies you said.
You'll forget.
And women are so intuitive; they'll start to pick up on that right away.
Oh, they'll pick up just off your energy.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to be
off
done.
Your fucking energy around them.
You're going to be done. So if you want anything more than just a day, and if you're trying to do like a one night stand, your game better be tight. Because women love to test, and they're out there. Some of them are really looking for that one night stand, but they want an alpha
more
that knows.
More now than ever.
Right. They want an alpha that knows how to sway them, take them on this emotional roller coaster. And so we're talking a lot of macro things, then we go a little bit into it, and we can go deep into it. But my point is, going with Jaron, do not, and plus, I mean, just out of respect for humanity, you don't want to be lying. You don't want to be lying to anybody.
You just don't need to lie to anybody.
Don't be lying to anybody.
If you're thinking the right way, then no.
Right. You should be so good at what you do, you don't have to lie.
Listen. Clint and Jaron.
All right, I'm listening.
All right. First of all, I don't do this anymore for the 10th time.
Oh, we know. We're not saying that you're doing it. We're saying that a lot of fucking people do it. People lie to people every day. We're just saying it's blue pill. We're trying to help everybody. We're not icing you, bro.
we already got to get the blue pill part, but and
it's the subject that we're talking about
is lying to her to get your way, really putting her on a pedestal. And listen to what I mean. Like, if I meet a girl, right, or I just see a girl, I'm like, yo, dude, I wonder what she looks like naked. Like, we all know how we thought maybe 3 or 4 years ago, right? Well, at least some of us thought 3 or 4 years ago, at age, where we're like, we see somebody and we're like, yo, I wonder what she looks like naked. I mean, I do that all the time anyways now.
I still do this shit.
I think every guy does that.
Yeah. But to go to the length of wanting to talk to them, and then you're like, well, damn, like we all know how we are and how we were like a few years ago, where we're just like, man, I'll do anything to, not like anything like simping to do with them, but like, man, you know what, I just want to fuck her,
Yeah.
That's the term that we use, but I just want to fuck her. So then you pretty much go on these dates with her, bullshit with her for like maybe a week or so, and then you fuck her. But what she wants is for you to try and, like, sometimes they don't want to just be like, they don't want you to just spit some game on them and then try and sleep with them that night. Sometimes they want to feel like they want a relationship. And so you kind of got to like what I did, I just lied to them and made them feel like I wanted a relationship. And then once I got what I wanted, I did. Which is probably why I think karma came and did me there.
But isn't that alpha behavior though?
Hold on, listen up. Is that necessarily putting them on a pedestal though? Because you want to sleep with them, and you're not simping. You're not like, oh yeah, I'll do this and do that. But you're like, you know what? If I can make her think that I want to be in a relationship just to fuck her, like in like a week or so.
That sounds pretty alpha, honestly.
Well, I mean, look, but see, this is the thing: is anytime a man and a woman are starting to see each other, they're both interested in each other.
Oh yeah.
We got to get out of this mindset of relationship, this and that. Yeah, I mean, long term, but my God, like I said, you know, if you just want to sleep with her in the first place, like a relationship, she should never even be saying relationship. You should be running if she's saying that. That's a big red flag. But
That's true.
I mean, you go out. I mean, you go out to meet these women to have to hang out, have fun, and if it works out, hook up. There needs to not be any pressure or manipulation involved or anything like that. And I can assure you, like, you got to be careful of the girls you're seeing because they could be just using you, you know?
Oh, absolutely.
It could be for sex, it could be for food. It could be...
If you get a chick, I'm pretty sure we've all met at least 3 chicks. We've been on enough dates. All 3 of y'all have been on more dates than I ever have. If we've all met a chick that's like, I'm looking for a relationship. So it doesn't take them. It's not really something to scare anybody off with in the first 2 or 3 weeks. If they already let you know that from.
Well, yeah.
You know, if they already let you know, hey, I want to be in a relationship, or I'm looking for a relationship.
And that's fine.
Then
but you date them as such.
It's the matter of you giving them hope that they think you're going to be in a relationship. They're not doing it. Not necessarily like day one, let's get in a relationship, but like,
that's
if
fine.
you go on a date, you know what? I'm looking for a relationship.
Because you're not totally lying. Because if it works out and it's a surprise and she's bomb and you like her a lot, it could eventually lead to that.
Sure. He used to say.
You just let them know that it's possible.
Yeah.
They like that
because
more.
anything's possible.
You let them. They like the idea more than actually having it. And once they have it, that starts a whole nother thing.
You gotta leave it ambiguous.
That's a whole nother type of game.
That's a whole nother type of game. But my thing is like, of course, like, okay, so I meet this girl and she says she wants a relationship, and she's like, yeah, I mean, of course, you know, we may possibly get to that, and that's a realistic, healthy, safe thing to say.
That's true.
It would be a really simp thing to say, heck yeah, let's, you know, push for a relationship. I don't even know this girl.
Yeah, no, a guy shouldn't be saying that ever.
And then knowing that you just want to fuck. On top of that to me, that's the part where it's like, come on, like, like it's all to me. It's only blue pill if you actually don't want, you know, whatever you say you do want to get in the girl's pants to get what you do want. Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and think about James Bond, like in his approach. He is smooth with smooth. And
that's a good role model.
He takes them on this wonderful, smooth, fun adventure. But what happens when he gets her home? We've seen it time and time again. And that's ideally what you do. You go out on these dates to have fun, to enjoy the person, not just to, you know, release yourself. You want to do more than that, you know? And if not, then... But you see... women are human beings too that deserve the honor and respect, and if you just want to get with them for that, you just got to get your game straight, you know. And like I'm saying that micro, it's so many little intricacies going on.
Oh, absolutely.
With it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What I think what you're trying to say is that women are human beings as well.
Right.
You don't need to you don't need to degrade them to get what you want out of the situation. You don't have to. You don't need to lie to them either. Right. Enjoy, and think about this. Like, a lot of people that sleep around find it very unfulfilling because they're not taking the time to actually enjoy the process and enjoy the person once they get to the part of sleeping with them. Yeah. You can sleep around and still enjoy the person too. You can, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, and that's what you should. Like, if you know you're turned on to that, and you want to get with, you know, 2 to 3, 5 to 6, however tight your game is, girls a week, you got to enjoy the process of what you're doing.
Exactly. That's the thing about being like totally in tune with your masculinity. If you're out there playing the field like that, you probably feel like $1 million cents.
Right. You gotta want you know, enjoy the ups and downs.
And you probably are living your best life at that point. Which I think we've all had a taste of that.
And for top alpha males, it's nothing for them. You know, to be slain.
Well, when you're actually doing that, like,
it's nothing.
If you're there, like, at your peak and you're staying there, because like I mean, I can't say for myself, but like whoever is doing that, they've got to be like feeling so good because you've mastered yourself. You've matured to the point where you know what's going on. You stay there. You don't fuck up. and then you're good. In that department of life, not like financial whatever.
And you're also not getting every girl you come across either. Like that,
you're not.
That's a misconception.
You lose more than you get.
10 out of 100.
Yeah, you lose more than you get.
Right.
Like
even guys that are super tight with their game, you lose more than you get.
lose more than you get. Like
sure, but you don't care about rejection anymore. That's
exactly.
No,
it doesn't affect you because you're doing you.
Because it's her loss. It's her loss.
It's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, guys, so we talked about blue pill stuff there briefly, and I brought up the beta orbiter stuff. I want to talk about some actually direct, influences of that subject. So we got that. We got the simp stuff we talked about. Name another actual, direct thing associated with blue pill.
All right. Well, I can give you an excellent example.
Okay.
And we already touched on it, but I'll harp on it again.
Yeah.
Society turns men, for the most part, into betas.
Yeah. Beta male stuff.
But yeah, exactly. And to expound, listen to our music. Oh my gosh. It is placating the women, overlooking, like Percy Sledge, when a man loves a woman, he'll forsake and leave his best friend. Well, for one, you should never do that.
I see it so
but
much.
there's songs like that galore written all over, like, oh baby, I love you, I have to chase. It just goes on. We can find them. And the reason why this is going on is because we have a gonocentric society, and women love that, and they need that because that's their safety, that's their protection, that's their future, is having men pretty much submit themselves to them so that they can host on to the man. Not all, but most, right? And we see it in the movies. We, TV shows we see. We overlook the bad things women are doing to the men, and the men are last to know, and men are these big baffling buffoons. And
always
the women have the answers and the knowledge, and we have to go to the women to get it.
Media is destroying masculine. You know that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And I was going to say even further, when the government and when society has men in that way, who will men buy anything for? Who will men do anything for at the end of the day? A woman. So all you got to do is get the women to want a certain thing, and then the men to follow the women, and then that's all it needs. That's all it needs
right.
to
Because look who's in Victoria's Secret.
Yeah.
Half the clientele in there is men buying stuff for their.
Hell, a man started the company.
There you go.
That's genius. Yeah.
Look at Zales, Holmesburg Diamonds. Every kiss begins with K. Who's going to those things and lining the pockets of those companies?
Obviously.
You can look at diamond marketing in general. We all know diamonds aren't rare. Diamonds are a dime a dozen, literally.
Why is the markup on those things like marked up hundreds, 100%?
Dime a dozen diamonds. Oh shit.
And
look at that
industry. Wedding industry.
The wedding industry.
Oh,
beyond that, if you want to know more about diamonds, look up the company De Beers. They're like they used to be the largest, but now they're like the second or third largest diamond supplier in the world. They have a surplus of diamonds, and they just like hand out a few. It's like an actual like business tactic what they do with diamonds to artificially inflate the price. Like this shit is not secret. I learned about that shit in my college class, like my college math class of all classes.
And then I guess the one that a majority of us know, and we know it all too well, marriage. We are not to confront the woman. We hear sayings such as "happy wife, happy life."
Yeah, we do.
Can't make the wife upset.
No.
I'm in the doghouse now. Who are all those things designed for? Do you think if you were to go like amongst a few married couples and you were to shame your wife, what? Oh, good Lord, your wife.
They tear you apart.
The simp beta men and the wives would give you a look like you're from hell.
Yeah, bro. The men are brainwashed too.
You see that double standard? Like you cannot in marriage, and we've probably seen this like in our own families. I know I have in mine. The man can basically do nothing.
He's done.
Yep.
He has very little say. He has some say, but very little say.
Yeah, bro. It gets very sad to see.
And that's one of the ultimate forms of conditioning there. And then young boys see that. Oh, son, you gotta look after your sisters, protect them, and that is a good thing to do.
Yeah, that part's good.
That's good. But then it goes into, oh no, you can't confront her. Oh, you can't do that. That's the mother of your children. I mean, we hear this stuff, and it's emasculating men to the extreme. But a lot of men go along with it, and they're okay with it. And some become blinded by it and don't even realize it's happening.
It's like what we talk about every episode, though, bro. What you're taught your whole life, some people never question it.
Right.
So it continues the cycle.
Because they don't know of any other alternatives. And when you couple this, and this is a very big hook here for us tonight.
Right.
Hopefully we'll touch a little bit on marriage. But the family court system is engineered for women to make out and misbehave badly in family court law. If she takes, it's almost, well, actually, I think it's either 75+% or 80% of divorces are filed by the woman. Mm-hmm. And women will divorce rape you and take you to the cleaners. And it's unbelievable what it does to men. And some can never get ahead. And it's massive discrimination.
Right.
Yeah. It's unfair. And it's just now being noticed. I mean, it's unbelievable what happens. If a woman loses in the family law court, her loss would be 50% custody. Just think about that.
Yeah,
they win overwhelmingly, like 90+% to the guy, and they make out with over easily 50% of custody of the children, ripping your heart out with it.
But that depends on the state. But
we'll look it up.
That's a good point.
It's
we did
all the states. Look it up.
Because states have different laws in terms of
they do have different laws. They also have a law too that if you're married to a woman for 10 years, you automatically owe her alimony.
Damn.
Yeah.
How's that fair?
It's
some have that though.
But I want us to get back to the red pill.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Anyway, as we were,
we've covered. Well, I think we already kind of had an episode about the marriage stuff. But yeah, the red pill stuff. So alpha male tendencies, we've already kind of briefly gone over it. I'd like to touch on maybe the dark side of that too, because I just brought up manipulation earlier, which is a side of the wrong side to be on, but it does.
I mean, to me, there's no dark side to red pill, man.
Really, that'll be black.
I mean, if
that's the one.
Like I said, I use my own definition of red pill. It's universally applicable.
Right.
But
yeah,
to me, there's no dark side to discovering your actual self and being who you want to be in life and getting what you want out of life. There's no dark side of that to me.
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's the red pill.
That's the other side then.
But be aware though that there is a black pill.
Oh yeah, there is a black pill, but I thought that was more for the black sector of.
But if you're,
I thought black pill was mostly more of the incel crowd. Is that am I correct in that?
I think that.
I don't think so. Black pill is when you're complete monk mode and you won't have anything to do with women anymore because you become so jaded. It's the men that are deeply hurt. And actually, when you listen to them on YouTube, they really despise women a lot. And that's the darkest of the spectrum. And, for some people, maybe for certain periods of your life, for a little bit of your life, going MGTOW, going your own way, and, abstaining from women's probably a good thing. If you have a big goal,
temporarily,
such as myself, like I see women occasionally, so I'm not full MGTOW. I'm red pill, but, I'll still see women go on a few dates, but I keep it very light, nothing ever serious. Because if you have a purpose, or if you have a big, lofty goal, it's a hindrance 9 times out of 10 to have a woman in your life because she's not, as Jaron said, hopefully we touch on this, she's not going to truly be a submissive, supportive wife because society looks down upon that now.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the way it needs to be.
I think she will if you're actually red pill. If you're actually red pill and she actually is what I would consider like an actual feminine woman, I think she will. If you can get that, then she will. But
in most cases, you won't.
Again, most cases you probably won't. Yeah.
Because that's what she's going to say, honey, I want to go out on a girls' night out.
Or what?
She'll eventually go to you and say, hey, I want to go out on a girls' night out. You're going to be like, well, why do you want to do that? Well, I just want to go out with my friends and have fun and, grind while other men are on me and grabbing my body and, You know,
that does happen.
and I can't remember what I'm doing. You know, women nights out when you're in a relationship's not good.
Yeah, Corin, go ahead. What you gonna say?
Well, I kind of disagree with that, just a little bit.
I was gonna say, yeah.
It also depends on her friends. You got to see what kind of friends she has too.
Fair
If she
enough.
has,
Right.
if friends are like her, and she's your girl, and you're in a relationship, you should probably be able to trust her. Now if her if you look at her friends and you're like, what the fuck? Yeah, a girls' night out is probably not the best thing for your girlfriend or wife. I mean, does anybody disagree?
I agree with you, bro. It really
It's
comes
not like
down
I'm
to
disagreeing. It's all circumstantial what we're saying. But
and
more times
all
than
this
not,
stuff,
you gotta be careful of these
all
things.
this stuff has to kind of correlate with you too, like as a man.
You and
What we're saying here is all what we believe personally. It's all we've seen, what we've studied, but you really have to feel it in your own sense of being as well. Because like what you guys just said about the submissive woman, I like a girl with a strong personality personally, but that doesn't mean like I'm opposed to someone that actually supports me for me, who's going to just prance away as soon as like money is off the table. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
Well, I would hope if she just got a strong personality, then she'd like you for you.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like I like someone who like wows me in that department.
You just don't want her competing with you, man.
No. I don't mean that. I mean like the actual personality has to be like it doesn't have to be, but it's cool when they're off the wall and like kind of weird and kind of like this is different. I'm not used to this. But again, this is after you understand. Go ahead.
And I think what Adam's trying to say, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't mean to cut you off. But I think what Adam's kind of trying to say is basically he doesn't want a woman that's just completely submissive for us. And I'm not saying what you guys are trying to say that a woman is pretty much like that does everything around that, just like, oh yes honey, yes.
No, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, I was you guys saying that, but I do have a question for you all about this though. Is because we've seen all the stuff go, well, not all of it, but almost all of the shit go away to a woman being feminine in the household, whether she's with a man, whatever. We're taking a stance, the same stance that us men are now taking on not dating the opposite sex and just going our own separate ways. Kind of fishy, but whatever. Actually, very, very fishy. But my question is, like, in terms of like cleaning, like, because I've met so many women. It's way more common for a woman to not know how to cook, and you go to their house and their house is dirty and shit. Like, some of the best pussy I ever had were from chicks that didn't keep the room clean. So I'm just saying.
Hey,
I can't.
A dirty room.
Disagree with that. I really can't.
Sometimes a dirty room is a sign of creativity. I gotta have to sleep on that because you guys have seen my dishes. But anyway.
Yeah.
The smell.
I'm putting that out there. The best pussy out there. Don't be cleaning their room. But anyways, my question to y'all is, with them not being able to do womanly duties, is that really a sign of all of this shit going away, or is that necessarily a good thing or a bad thing? That half the women you meet probably have never cooked or just don't cook and don't clean, like don't really do actual woman duties. And I'm not saying like a robot woman or anything like that, like a chef or anything, but like, you know what I mean? Like you're not doing what
personally, I feel like every human being should have those abilities already instilled in them. Because like, if all you're doing is going out to eat all the time and not taking care of your stuff, you kind of just it's not attractive. It's not attractive quality, So I mean, that's just people in general.
Well,
no. Let's define not being able to cook. Like not being able to cook good, like well, like good food.
Yeah.
Or are we talking like
That's
not
funny.
being able to cook a meal?
That's
can't
fine.
microwave something.
No, like that you can't cook a meal, like
literally you can't get your way around the fucking kitchen.
Like 90% of the dates I've been on within like the past like 3 years, a lot of them have said they don't cook.
Okay.
But
And
they can
about
cook for themselves, though.
You said,
Maybe.
That's funny. They gotta at least a little bit be cooking for themselves, because you can't be
Or they
eating
eat
out
out, or
3
they
meals a day.
No, they might, bro. People do.
I mean, they're JMU chicks, so I'm pretty sure they had the money to
Oh
eat
god,
out.
yeah, they probably had them. They were just buying shit anyway.
Yeah.
They going to the cafeteria and shit.
What I'm saying is, if I'm not saying that the average woman is, but if the average woman was to not cook every day or not cook at all, is that a sign of any effect from the red pill, from the dark side of the red pill, or is that not?
black one or whatever.
I think that's more feminist. It's more of a sign of feminism than
I was gonna
black
say
pill
that.
to me. But also, if you literally like can't cook anything, like that's sort of a deal breaker for me personally.
Yeah, because that
Like-
just shows that you aren't willing to try.
Yeah, like if I want you to like see, it's a perfect red pill example. If part of what I want in my existence and my interaction with you is for you to cook me a meal, and you literally don't want to even try to cook the meal, then what are we doing here?
Yeah, you know,
It's
lazy.
it's about more than the meal at that point.
It's
Like,
about not wanting to try for your partner. You know,
It's
not
laziness, it's disrespect. Like
Here's the thing: the quality of these women, it's going away. Like
I
you guys
agree.
may-
I agree. Yeah.
shit, but it's happening because I've seen it in person.
No,
too,
I
where it's just
agree.
like all this shit is going away. We can't go out here and be like, yo, we want this out of a woman because the shit that we
a
want.
guy can't say anything like that.
We
No,
can.
what I'm saying is the shit that we require. The shit that we require as men is not coming with these chicks anymore. It's not. They're not.
Well,
I'm not
Well,
saying
then those are the ones that you go. Those are the ones that you go have sex with, and then the ones who will do the stuff for you, you go and make something real out of.
And it's
That's
not
all
even
it
like, and me personally, it's not like I'm asking for this stuff. It's that it just comes naturally.
Hold on.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we're not going out there. I mean, like we're going out there and looking for these chicks. But what I'm saying is it's extremely more. It's like 10 times more hard to find that woman that you could have found 30 years ago, that anybody could have found 30 years ago, because there was a higher quality of women in terms of personality, in terms of not just following the crowd on every fucking thing.
Less social media.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
I'm doing all this by myself. It's just
And-
like you're a woman. You gotta do
exactly.
something. You need a man.
And-
So now they're not doing that shit, and we've done this a million fucking times where we over this, and we still see more and more examples, and we keep getting more and more shocked at shit like this. We're just like, fuck.
I agree, but let me.
At the end of the day, us from what you guys are saying, a red pill is. At the end of the day, being a red pill is not going to be enough.
I disagree.
Well, okay, Jaron,
I disagree.
before you get into that, Jaron, hold on.
Dude,
I feel like social media itself is a big factor in fucking people up in general, not just women. I feel like,
Well,
with all that stuff on top of what you said,
Already know
people don't want to go out there and
Yeah.
learn. People don't want to go out there and learn basic, human life skills like cooking or cleaning. Yeah, there's a bigger problem on top of everything else. Like you come to terms with, okay,